Hey everybody, Pastor Jason and Pastor Jody back here with you, closing out this Clear Vision series that we have been doing on the Life Change Daily Devotionals. We bless you in the name of the Lord, and we thank you for joining us here today and all of these days. If you haven't had a chance to get all of the Clear Vision teachings, go back and check them out. Me and Pastor Andy, me and Pastor Jody have had a chance to sit down and put these together, and they have been an absolute blessing. And so I hope you'll get a chance to take a look at them. We have been in Romans 12. We're talking about clear vision as it relates to getting our vision back out of the rearview mirror where everything is backwards.
Yes, sir.
And getting it to a place where everything is right. We don't have to make adjustments for reversal so we can push forward. We began to talk about the function that we all have. We made it all the way through verse 4 and verse 5 and talking about the function that we have inside of the kingdom, and the Lord just began to open that up.
Yeah.
But at the end, the Lord was revealing to us the thing that we really need to talk about today, and that is every time that we receive promotion, every time that our influence expands, our capacity expands, our opportunities expand. They are not expanding for us to serve ourselves. They are expanding for us to serve others and to serve God more completely.
Yeah, amen.
And Paul literally lays that out going forward. And so I want you, if you will, pick up on where we left off yesterday in the reading. Read us through and then take us through what that means to serve more completely.
Yeah. Verse 6, it says, I love the way it starts. It says, in his grace. And we know after the sermon last Wednesday what his grace is, the power of God. God has given us different gifts for doing certain things well. So if God has given you the ability to prophesy, speak out with as much faith as God has given you. If your gift is serving others, serve them well. If you are a teacher, teach well. If your gift is to encourage others, be encouraging. If it is giving, give generously. If God has given you leadership ability, take the responsibility seriously. And if you have a gift for showing kindness to others, do it gladly. And then it gets good right here, verse 9. Don't just pretend to love others.
Wow.
Because, in church, people, it's easy to pretend.
It is. It's easy to pretend.
The word says, don't pretend to love others. Really love them. Hate what is wrong. Hold tightly to what is good. Love each other with genuine affection. And take delight in honoring each other. I'm going to stop right there for just a second and say honoring each other. I'm telling you, to me, there's not as much honor that should go on. And I'm not just talking about honoring the people that are in authority over you. I'm talking about honoring people.
Yes.
Respect their positions and honoring them, loving on them, valuing them.
Yeah.
And so we need to make sure that we honor others. We certainly do. Never be lazy, but work hard and serve the Lord enthusiastically. Rejoice in our confident hope. Be patient in trouble and keep on praying. That's good too. We could stop there too if we wanted to. When God's people are in need, be ready to help them. Always be eager to practice hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Here we go. Bless those who persecute you. Don't curse them. Pray that God will bless them.
Wow.
That's strong right there. Be happy with those who are happy and weep with those who weep. Live in harmony with each other. Don't be too proud to enjoy the company of ordinary people, and don't think you know it all. My God. Never pay back evil with more evil. Do things in such a way that everyone can see you are honorable. Do all that you can do to live in peace with everyone. Dear friends, never take revenge. Leave that to the righteous anger of God. For the scriptures say, I will take revenge. I will pay them back, says the Lord. Instead, if your enemies are hungry, feed them. If they are thirsty, give them something to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals of shame on their heads. Don't let evil conquer you, but conquer evil by doing good.
Wow.
That's great stuff, isn't it?
That is incredible stuff.
That's awesome.
I mean, literally, that is a teaching you will never get in the world.
No.
That is a teaching you will never get in the world.
No, sir.
Because everything is that I am gaining to gain, I am getting to get. But this is telling me that I am gaining to give. I am getting to give.
Yes.
I am, this is what I'm doing. Everything that's come to me, I have to recognize it. First of all, I have to recognize not only who I am and what my giftings are, but I have to recognize the moment that is in front of me. Pastor Jody, I would say that is probably one of the things that we lack so tremendously in the kingdom. Our pastor says that the most underused spiritual gift is the gift of discernment. But that is the one that we need to fine tune, because very often we don't discern the time that we're in. I saw this where it was talking about in verse 9 where you were saying, don't just pretend to love others, but really love each other.
Yes.
And I was thinking about in our legacy school of ministry, I have the privilege of teaching the class this month. I'm teaching on missions this month. And we were at our beginning part, and I always begin the same way we begin everything that we do here in leadership meetings and everything like that. We always begin with celebration. Yeah. So we go around the table, we give everybody an opportunity to celebrate. And one of our students was celebrating. He said, the Lord had been ministering to me about faith and hope so tremendously, but I forgot. I forgot that the greatest of these was love. And he said, when Philip Cameron came, he said, that man shook me to my core. Yeah. He said, what he preached and what he ministered shook me to my core. And he said, I realized that I minister with faith, I minister with hope, but so often I don't minister with love. Yeah. And he was talking about in the altar that there was a situation that if he had not been looking at it with the eyes of love, that he would not have ministered that situation properly. But he said that when he began to look at it and say, you know what, I need to love this person. I need to love this thing. I can't be aggravated. I can't be frustrated. I can't do it. I've got to love. And he said when he began to do that, all of a sudden this breakthrough happens in this ministry. And he said, God did a powerful thing in the altar, and I'm grateful for that. He said, but what he did in me, he said, I mean, the person who came up was healed miraculously in the altar. Yeah. I mean, literally a miraculous healing in the altar. But he said, what God did in me in that moment was so powerful. And that's what he was celebrating. Yeah. When we can't discern that the opportunities that have presented themselves to us, because there can be a point that we'll look at something, we'll be so focused on my ministry over here that I won't recognize that God laid ministry right in front of me. Mm-hmm. But I had to pull my eyes off of what was my agenda, what was my task, and say, no, let me genuinely love this person. And if I can do that, it shakes it all up.
Absolutely. And like you said, all of this, it goes against. And I think of two examples, because there's always an example of where acting like this. And of course, I've not always acted like this. Let me just say that. None of us have. But I can remember seeing on TV a time where there were about 150 protesters outside of a Chick-fil-A restaurant, and we can all imagine what they were protesting, and we know about all those news reports. And I will never forget, the news crew wasn't talking about the protesters like they normally were talking about. They were talking about Chick-fil-A, because Chick-fil-A brought out hundreds of chicken sandwiches to give out to the protesters. Wow. And that's the kind of love that we're talking about. And they didn't have to pay for it. So it said more about Chick-fil-A and their heart for God to me than anything. That's one example. And I'll tell you about another example is, for a couple of years, I drove as kind of a part-time / full-time job for Uber and for Lyft, and would go pick up some people. And I don't think I've ever told you this story, Pastor Jason, but this is what this is talking about, loving people. I got a thing on my phone. It popped up and it said, go pick this person up. And so I headed in that direction. And then I got a phone call from the person who had ordered the ride. And so I was like, hey, how are you? And this is what the lady said. She said, the man you're going to pick up is my boyfriend. He's been on a drug binge for 3 days. And he's been drinking for about 24 hours straight. He's had 2 different Uber drivers pull up to where he's at, turn around, and pull off because they were scared. He was extremely upset, and he thought the Uber drivers had all this prejudice against him and all this other stuff, and he was cussing and ranting and raving. And she said, "Can you do me a favor?" I said, "Yeah, sure." She said, Can you please just get him home safely?" I said, "Absolutely.
Wow.
I'll get him home safely."
Wow.
Now, I had no idea. It was 2:00 in the morning, Pastor Jason.
Great goodness.
I drove about 15 minutes, and I drove to pick him up. I'll just say this. He had half clothes on, half clothes off. He had an open container of alcohol in his hand. He was cussing me from the time that I pulled up. And finally, I looked at him and I said, "Well, sir, I can't get you from here to where I'm going to get you to if you don't get in my car." And he laughed a little bit, but then he realized he was still wanting to be mad. So he kept on cussing. I said, "Sir, please get in my car." He got in my car. We started driving. He was saying all of this stuff and everything. And in my mind, I was so irritated. And I was like, I don't want to fool with this. I'm ready to go home. I'd been driving for 10 straight hours, making some extra money. And finally, he asked me, "Pastor Jason, what is it that you do?" And I said, "Well, I'm a worship pastor." And at the time, I was just traveling. And he said, "Oh, you sing, do you?" Now, he was intoxicated. "Well, I want you to sing something for me then," he said. And I thought, in my flesh, Pastor Jason, I said, "I do not want to sing anything for this guy." I was like, the last thing I want to do is sing for him. I want to pull up and kick him out the door because he'd been cussing me for so long.
That's funny.
But you know what? The Lord just quickened inside of me and said, "Sing."
Wow.
And so I started singing "Amazing Grace."
Wow.
How sweet the sound. He wasn't going to leave that car unless I sang. So I started singing "Amazing Grace." And the Spirit of God hit that car. It hit that car, and I looked in my rearview mirror, and there was tears coming down this man's face. And as I kept driving after I got done, he was quiet. He didn't say a word. And I've never seen a man that was drunk sober up so quick.
Wow.
And when we got to his house, he asked me. He said, "Will you pray with me?"
Wow.
I said, "Absolutely, I'll pray with you." And I put my arms around this man. You say, "Well, he probably smelled." Yeah, he did. He was drunk. Yeah, he was drunk. All of the above. But God opened up an opportunity where the world would have said, "Kick him out of your car. You do not want to take this guy anyway. He might hurt you. He might, or whatever."
Yeah.
And I prayed with him, and he received Jesus that night.
Wow.
Into his heart. And his girlfriend I couldn't believe it. And so I just say that story to say that if we live the word, what it says right here, no matter what, he's going to open up doors of opportunity, just like what we've talked about, and people's lives are going to be changed.
Well, there's a man in our church that turned down a job. Was supposed to be a very, very lucrative offer. I mean, a lucrative offer. This would have been making more money than he had ever seen in his life, type of money, and so he was very, very clear with him the terms of it, and he said, and right at the start, he said, "Listen, I have kids, and I have responsibilities at my church, and I'm just telling you that there is no job on the planet that I will allow those things to stand in the way of me being there for my kids every night and being close to them. And also there's no job on the planet that will keep me away from my church for extended periods of time." And so he's very clear with him. Went through the interview process, did all the stuff, and he's ready to move on to the stage where he's about to take jobs. And they hit him with, "Yeah, this is what you're going to be doing. You're going to be gone this amount of time, and you'll be doing this. And when we call, there's this." And he said that he talked to the person who was from HR, and they said, he said, I'm not going to do this. I'm a dad, and I have responsibilities at my church, and I'm going to serve my kids. I'm going to serve God by serving my kids. I'm going to serve God by serving my church, and that's how it's going to be. And so the lady said, "You know what? I completely understand. I actually took this job in HR so I could do the same thing. Let me see what I can do." Reaches out to the company president And company president says, absolutely not. We're not making an exception for that guy. If he can't do this, then he can't do it. And she hits him back and says, this is what he says. He goes, well, thanks for the interviews. We'll move on. Well, here's the thing. Walking away from that, it put him in a spot.
Oh yeah.
Put him in a spot. He had hinged a lot on getting that, because at the very beginning they had told him, this is what you're going to be. We'll accommodate you. We want you that bad to be working for this company. He gets to this, gets a few months down the road, and I was talking to him at prayer meeting the other night, and he said, "Oh, let me tell you an interesting story." He said, "I get a call from this company president, and this is what the man says to me. The man says to me, man, I'm sorry that didn't work out. Let me tell you something. I admire the stand you took. You walked away from something very, very serious because you stood on what you believed." He said, and the guy told him, he said, there is less of that in this world than there should be. And I admire you for standing up. By the way, I've got some freelance work I need you to do for me personally. Wow. Would you do that for me? Literally, this is how the Lord begins to do this. Yes. There are moments, Pastor Jody, that we're going to stand on a thing and it's going to look like we're losing.
Absolutely.
It's going to look like we're losing.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, at 2 o'clock in the morning, when you pick that cat up and you're riding around with him, it looked like you were losing.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling too much like a winner.
It looked like you were losing. But you recognized the moment that came to you. Now, granted, he pulled it out of you.
Yeah, and I had to push through my flesh.
Yeah.
I don't always do that the right way. I don't think any of us do, but I did have to push through my flesh, and then
we all do.
Yeah, and the end result was.
But here's where it is, and in the end, what you had in that moment. Here's the crazy thing, because this is what I'm seeing in there, and we're getting to the spot where we're about to pray. But this is what I saw. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. You're driving your car, and you're doing this to earn extra money.
Yeah.
Let's just be very, very clear.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're doing this to earn extra money to take care of you and your family. Yeah. Because unless you are insane.
I know, right?
Unless you are insane, you're not just going to be out for fun at 2 in the morning.
Nothing going on.
Picking random folk up. So you can do, this is not what you're going to do unless you're insane. So you had a purpose saying, listen, I need to do this to enrich myself.
Right.
So you were out there to enrich yourself.
Absolutely.
This lady calls you up and she says to you, hey, listen, you're the third Uber driver because everybody else is done. They drive up, they drive off. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. She gave you a heads up that nobody else got.
Right. Absolutely.
So you could have said, you know what? Look at the time.
Yeah, right. Canceled it out.
You could have canceled that one and said, listen, I ain't going to do it. Put a little mark in there, whatever it is. Somebody called, said the driver was drunk and belligerent.
Yeah.
Not going to be there. You're good.
Yeah.
But instead you said, no, I'll get him where he needs to go. Yeah. Purposeful in your heart, like a true pastor, like a true pastor's kid. I'll get him there.
Yeah.
I'll get him there.
Yeah.
You point me to the direction, I'll get him there. Yeah. You pick him up and you were immediately regretting your decision. Yeah. But the gift that you had that day, was exactly what that guy needed. Now, you could have held on to that gift and said, you know what? Because I don't have a keyboardist, because I don't have a stage, because I don't have this, because he's not the right type of guy.
Right.
But instead, you open your mouth and you began to sing. When you open your mouth and begin to sing, all of a sudden, everything that was making this guy what you didn't want him to be began to disappear.
Yeah, absolutely.
And at 2 o'clock in the morning, you didn't just get an Uber fare. Yeah. You got to lead a person to Jesus Christ.
Yes, sir.
If we recognize the gifts that we've been given,
yes,
and realize that God can tap those gifts anytime, anywhere, and that there's always going to be a supply. As long as we'll put it out, there will always be a supply.
Yeah.
And as long as we will make ourselves available, he will always give us. I heard, who was it? Said it. Clarence Bliss. Was a missionary, legendary missionary to Iran. And he said, if you will make your ministry to the broken and the hurting, you will never lack for an audience.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That is so true.
And Pastor Jody, all over, we have a gift that we can give somebody. Even this morning, Pastor Andy looked and was making a decision about some money we were going to spend. And he looked and he said, well, whoever gives to the poor lends to the Lord. Literally, this is just recognizing the gift and saying, you know what? God always has a supply.
Absolutely.
There. So Pastor Jody, can you take us to prayer today? And as you pray, can you pray that we would not only see our gifts clearly,
yes,
but we would clearly see all the opportunities,
yes,
that God would present for us to use those.
Yes, Lord, we just thank you again, Jesus. God, for this time together. Thank you for every single person that's watching today, Lord, who might not know where their gift is, Lord. I ask you, Lord, right now in Jesus' name to reveal to them where their gift is, Lord, and where their gifting is, and allow them to understand and value their gift and what that gift is on the inside of them, Lord. And I ask you, Lord, to open up doors for them to use that gift. In Jesus' name, God,
Lord,
I ask you, Lord, that you will allow them to understand that you're going to open up doors, Lord, that are going to be outside of the church building, God, to where they can use their gift and people will come to know you in an intimate relationship because of that gift, Lord. We want to recognize those gifts, Lord, but we also want to understand that you're going to open up doors that we can't even shut ourselves, Lord. They're going to be outside of this ministry, Lord. In the world, God. And we just, if it's in the restaurants, Lord, if it's in the movie places, Lord, it's in our homes, God, wherever it is, Lord, allow the gifts of your people to flourish, Lord, like a flower in Jesus' name. And we bless you and we thank you for your word. In Jesus' name, God, we give you praise.
Thank you, Jesus.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hey, listen, thank you for joining us today.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us for these devotionals. Thank you for joining us for the Clear Vision series.
Yes.
I hope you are seeing things in a way you have never seen them before, more clearly than you've ever seen them before. So now I charge you, as you see clearly, run with this vision.
Yes.
Walk it out in this world. The day is here, and Jesus said, I have to work the work of him who sent me while it is day, because the night's coming when no one can work. So listen, we got daylight. You have vision. You have a purpose. You have a gift. Run with it and serve in this world. God bless you. We'll see you here soon. Hey everybody, Pastor Jason here. We want to thank you for joining us for today's devotional. Remember to share it across your social media platforms. If you live in the South Atlanta area or the North Macon and Forsyth areas and you are looking for a great church where the power and the presence of God are on display, we would love to have you visit us at our Revival Center campus in Locust Grove, Georgia, or our Forsyth campus in Forsyth, Georgia. You can find information about these locations at our website, abundantlifechurch.com. Remember, it's time to stretch yourself. It's time to dream bigger. It's time to believe for the impossible. It's time to expand.